Welcome back to my channel, you beautiful humans. Alright, let's get into it. First of all, I'm going to be starting off with the NYX Photo Loving Primer in green. I'm just going to be putting this over my face and my body just to keep the makeup on both those areas. Now taking the Total Control foundation drops in vanilla and beige, I'm mixing those together just to pop onto my face area. Using the eyebrow pencil in brown, I'm going to be just sketching out the areas of where I'm going to be having the sort of fish art splat around my eye, and also just around my chin area where I'm going to be having the end of where the water will be ending. Now I'm going to be taking some water activated paints. I'm going to be using a couple of blue shades here. First off, starting off with sort of a medium blue that I want majority of it to be, and I'm just going to be stippling that on with the NYX stipple brush. Don't forget your ears as well. This definitely ties in all the looks, so you don't want to have your bare ears sort of showing. And then I'm going to go over with a darker color just to get the depth to this. So it gives it more texture, it gives it more depth, and just allows the colors to blend a little bit better. I'm going to be using a lighter blue now. Now this is sort of highlighting the areas that I want to sort of stick out a little bit more. Okay, so this is me trying to figure out my left from my right, where I'm going to put the brown color, where I'm going to put the pink color. I seriously, in a mirror, I am useless. Taking a brown water activated paint and that same stipple brush, I'm going to be putting that all over my right side. Yes, my right side, I got that right, yes! And I'm just going to be again putting it in a stippling motion. I'm going to be taking a pink shade. I know this really isn't a blue ringed octopus shade, but I wanted to sort of add a coral color to it. So I'm going to be again stippling that on my left hand side, and just sort of make sure you get underarm area as well. Taking a white not water activated paint, we're actually taking a white cream paint. Cream paint goes fantastic over water activated paints and it blends very well. Just going to be putting this in the highlight areas on all the colours that I've actually laid down on my chest. This is going to allow the look to actually pop out a little bit more, just so those areas can be seen. Using a concealer in yellow, I'm going to be mapping out the turtle shell area. It's not white, so that's why I chose to use a yellow colour, and concealer actually does the mapping out really well. Just look at a reference picture or just sort of go with the flow on this. As we've used a concealer for this, we want to set it to avoid it from rubbing or, moving around. So I'm just taking the hashtag no filter in the lightest shade possible. Using one of my most favourite palettes, the Avant Pop, we're going to be taking that brown shade that you see up the top right hand corner, and I'm actually going to be using this just on a thin brush, and I'm going to be shading the areas around where we've put the concealer. This is actually going to allow the actual look to pop out a little bit more and look like those turtle shells are actually raised. Taking the concealer again, I'm going to be going over the lines just to make them pop out, because you lose a little bit of colour doing this. And then I'm going to be taking the black from the Avant Pop palette, and I'm going to be going right on the edges just so you can actually see that it actually pops those shells out just even a little bit more. As I do say, where there is a shadow, you do need a highlight. So we're taking the jumbo pencil in milk, just putting that in the middle of those shells, just allow them to come out a little bit further. To be drawing on the round blue ringed octopus circles that they have on their body, and to do this I'm going to be using the Vivid Brights liner in Vivid Sapphire. It's such a beautiful, bright, vibrant blue shade, so I just chose to use this, and I've just gone over it a few times as well just to make them a little bit thicker. I'm going to be taking that same brown colour from the Avant Pop palette, and I'm just going to be shading the top sort of half of them just to sort of cast a shadow so they look more 3D. Blue Ringed Octopus has a shadow around their rings, so I'm actually going to be taking the high definition blush in Crimson, and I'm going to be shading on the outside of every circle. Now, the reason I've chosen this colour is because the background we've actually chosen to go with a pink, so we sort of want to go with a reddish pink colour to counteract that as well. Now I'm just going to jump over to the face just so I can actually fill in that area. I'm going in with the NYX Liquid Suede in Orange Country. Now I'm just filling this all in. I just want this to actually dry while I work on the rest of the body. So I'm actually taking that everywhere in that area, just around the eye area. Be careful when you go around the eyes as well. And I'm just taking that same crimson colour and I'm actually going to set that. Using the Electric Shock colour, which is one of the hot singles from NYX, I'm actually going to be sculpting out my non-existent collarbone that I just definitely don't have. So I'm just going to be shading that up, and I'm just going to be putting it in the areas just to sort of bring out my non-existent collarbone. Even further, just to add a little bit more depth to it, I'm going to be taking that same black from the Avant Pop palette and just going over a little bit in the area just to outline it. Now I'm also going to be taking that Electric Shock colour and we're going to be now outlining the two side areas. So I'm actually going to be shading them so they look like they're actually casting a shadow and they're actually being brought forward rather than them looking flat onto the skin. Now I'm also going to be taking that same black colour and I'm going to be putting that closest to the shell area. This is going to allow them to again be brought forward a little bit more and give them a little bit more depth. And obviously I've done it on one side, so we need to do it on the other side. So again, just using that same Electric Shock colour as well as that same black colour. Using the NYX Vinyl Liquid Liner in black, I'm actually going to be taking that around the areas that we traced out at the start, and that's just going to deepen that area. Using that same Electric Shock colour, I'm going to be shading that just underneath because that's the area that's actually going to be casting the darker shadow. So just run that sort of all along the chin area and bring that colour down. So I decided that that actually wasn't thick enough, so I've gone in with the super fat eye marker and I've actually gone and outlined that area again. Now I'm just taking some of the contour palette in light and I'm just taking one of the contour shades and I'm just going to be contouring the one side of my face. Can I say contour anymore in one sentence? Taking the Sweet Cheeks palette, the shade in the bottom left hand corner, I'm actually going to be just popping that onto my cheeks, just on both sides, just to sort of add a little bit more colour to the look. Now to work on the mandarin fish sort of splat, I'm going to be taking some of the shade in crimson and I'm just going to be shading that area as well as the brown from the Avant Pop just to sort of give that extra colour and dimension to the look. Now I'm also taking that Electric Shock colour and I'm going to be putting that right at the tips or the ends of the actual splat area, and I'm going to be dragging that down, and that's going to sort of give a gradient effect. Now the mandarin fish have these patterns, so they're blue patterns that are sort of all over their fin or their bottom fin. So I've actually gone in with the NYX Suede lipstick in Jet Set and a small brush, and I've just detailed that area. Moving over to the other eye, I'm taking the eyeshadow base in white. This stuff is freaking amazing. I thought there was nothing better than the Jumbo pencil in milk, but I found it. It is this. So I'm taking that all over my eye area and I'm going to be setting that with white as well. This is going to allow the colours that are going on top of that to transition easier into each other and actually blend a lot better. I've chosen as my transition shade the orange from the Avant Pop palette, and I'm actually also using that crimson blush colour just to sort of blend those two in together in the crease area. As we're going for a Great Barrier Reef look, there are a lot of different sort of fishes, so you want to make things as bright as possible. Now going back into the Avant Pop palette, I'm taking that beautiful blue shimmer shade and I'm putting that over the mobile lid. There's also a darker blue colour, so I'm blending that into the outer third of the eye and underneath as well. So I'm going to give myself a little bit of a wing because seriously, what look is complete without a wing? So again, taking that vinyl liquid liner, and that one is in black as well, and I'm just winging out the liner on the right eye. You could do this on the other eye as well, and looking back I probably could have done that, so that is sort of a personal preference. Gone into my waterline with the Jumbo pencil in Peacock, which is a nice beautiful blue electric colour, and I'm also popping on some mascara, getting ready for some falsies. So for lashes, I've gone in with the Wicked Lashes in Vixen for the top, and seriously, could I have used any more glue on those lashes? I've also cut up the other pair of lashes, which was Tease, and I've put them in the bottom corners, the bottom ends of my eyes, just to give a sort of more flared look. So I felt that the chest area needed a little bit more, and of course, barrier reef, water, bubbles, you need them. So I've gone in with the liquid suede in Little Denim Dress, and I'm just sort of doing circle shapes on that. And then I'm going back in with that electric shock colour, and I'm going to be shading the top part of them. This is actually going to bring them forward and look like they're actually off the skin. Now again, to shade them, you're going to go under and around in that same colour, the electric shock colour, and this is also going to make them look like they're being brought forward. Now bubbles also have a sort of highlight area, so I'm actually going to be taking the liquid liner in white, and I'm just going to be highlighting that area. I'm also going to be taking the bubbles up onto the face, so I'm going to be using that same white liquid liner and drawing circles on the face. Now you want these to sort of look translucent, so we're not going to colour them in, we're just going to shade them at the top with that same brown colour that we used for majority of the shading on the body. And again, you're just going to shade them underneath with that same brown colour. They're not going to be blue because the underneath of the surface that they're on aren't blue, so you're going to be shading it to brown, which is more to a skin colour. For my lips, I've used the liquid suede in Jet Set again and just outlining my whole lips with this colour. I'm then going to be going in with Little Denim Dress just in the middle of the lips, and I'm just going to be sort of creating an ombre effect and just smudging that out with my finger. Now I also wanted to give a more seaweed look to the lips, so I've gone in with the pigment Insomnia and just sort of put that around the lip area. So I felt like I needed a little bit more for this look, so I've just gone in with some spirit gum. You can use spirit gum, you can use eyelash glue, whatever is up to you, and I've just stuck some of these starfish on. So I've just sort of scattered them around just on my shoulder, on my forehead, just to sort of blend them into the look and make them not look like they're just sitting there. And I've also gone in with some pearls as well. Now I just bought these from a craft shop, and as you can also tell, I've also went in with those pearls under my right lashes. So this is the moment that I realised, holy hell, I did not highlight. What the? So I've gone in with the Strobe of Genius as always, and I've just highlighted the main points of my face, cheeks, nose, cupid's bow, and just above my brow area. I've also actually taken this into the middle areas and highlighted the collarbone areas a little bit more as well. So I felt like, again, I needed a little bit more, so I've gone in with the liquid liner in Vivid Fire, and I've sort of traced this around in a squiggly sort of shape just to give that coral appearance. And that's it, guys. That is my Great Barrier Reef inspired look. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you would like to see me make it through to the top 15, then please, I would love you guys to vote. I'll leave all the details linked down below, and I'll also be posting it onto my social media. Thank you so much, guys.